The Michigan Poison and Drug Information Center presents carbon monoxide awareness and poison prevention. There are no financial conflicts of interest associated with this presentation. Learning objectives for this presentation include understanding what carbon monoxide is and its effects on our health, identifying seasonal and continual carbon monoxide hazards, and identifying carbon monoxide-related emergencies, prevention, and resources. Carbon monoxide is an invisible and odorless gas that cannot be detected by our senses of smell, taste, sight, or sound. This hazardous substance can be emitted from any fuel burning source that utilizes gases, such as natural gas, gasoline, kerosene, and more. It can also be released from burning charcoal, tobacco, and even wood. It's important to understand the danger of high levels of this gas in the air. Oxygen, delivered by our red blood cells, is essential for our body cells to function and survive. Insufficient oxygen delivery by red blood cells can result in hypoxia, leading to tissue damage and death. When carbon monoxide is present in the air we breathe, it is delivered to our red blood cells. Carbon monoxide is not useful to our body cells, but it is very efficient in displacing oxygen on our red blood cells. As you can see in the image, hemoglobin in our red blood cells binds to both oxygen and carbon monoxide, but carbon monoxide bonds tightly to hemoglobin. Carbon monoxide has an attraction to hemoglobin in red blood cells that is more than 200 times greater than that of oxygen molecules. When this happens, red blood cells are unable to transport oxygen. If enough oxygen is displaced from our red blood cells with carbon monoxide, the effects are signs of life-threatening emergencies. Carbon monoxide exposure can result in serious health issues and fatality. The remainder of this presentation will focus on symptoms of carbon monoxide exposure, steps to take if exposed, prevention methods for carbon monoxide exposure, precautions to help avoid carbon monoxide-related emergencies, and available resources throughout our state. In the United States, carbon monoxide exposures result in over 100,000 emergency room visits each year. More than 14,000 individuals are hospitalized annually to carbon monoxide poisoning. And tragically, more than 400 fatalities related to carbon monoxide exposure occur yearly. Awareness and recognition of symptoms associated with carbon monoxide exposure are vital to prevent serious consequences for those affected. It's important to remember that carbon monoxide-related symptoms can easily be mistaken for flu-like symptoms. Therefore, being aware and considering carbon monoxide exposure as a possible cause of these symptoms can save lives. Carbon monoxide exposure can cause sudden headaches, general body weakness, dizziness, confusion, blurred vision, inability to stay awake, and difficulty walking or moving. Anyone experiencing these symptoms should be transported to the nearest hospital emergency room. No one is exempt from the dangers of carbon monoxide exposure. Certain individuals with specific health conditions face a greater risk of experiencing symptoms and severe health consequences. Those with respiratory or cardiovascular issues are particularly susceptible to developing symptoms when exposed to elevated carbon monoxide levels. Others at higher risk for adverse health effects from carbon monoxide exposure include fetuses, infants and toddlers, older adults, and small pets. While a healthy adult or teenager may not show signs of carbon monoxide exposure, it is important to take immediate action if those at higher risk for symptoms show signs of exposure. Carbon monoxide is produced by the incomplete burning of various fuels, including coal, wood, charcoal, oil, kerosene, propane, and natural gas. Knowing all sources of carbon monoxide in your home is vital to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Common sources of carbon monoxide in our homes include any fuel burning source such as gas furnaces, stoves, gas fireplaces, and water heaters, Other unexpected contributors include running vehicles in attached garages, gas grills, gas-powered generators, lawn care equipment, and snowblowers. Gas-burning devices meant for outdoor use can release exhaust or gas that may accumulate indoors when placed too close to structures. Also, remember to keep fireplace flues open when running gas-powered or wood-burning fireplaces and maintain them to ensure they vent properly during use. Equipment and machinery intended for outdoor use must never be operated indoors. Outdoor gas-powered devices emit significant levels of carbon monoxide rapidly. Gas-powered generators, grills, and lawn or snow maintenance equipment can release high concentrations of carbon monoxide in a short period of time. If you lose household power, under no circumstances should gas-powered backup generators or grills be used indoors. This equipment typically runs for extended periods and quickly raises carbon monoxide levels in enclosed spaces. When necessary, operate this equipment at least 25 feet away from homes and all structures. Pool and hot tub filter pumps designed for indoor use should be regularly maintained and monitored. Avoid running vehicles in attached garages or too close to structures for long periods of time. Carbon monoxide can build up in these areas quickly and leak into our homes. We may not think about carbon monoxide in all places, yet it's important to know the potential for exposure in various environments. Ensure that cars and boats are properly maintained to prevent exhaust leaks in both automotive and marine cabins. Ice fishing shanties are small spaces that will accumulate high levels of carbon monoxide quickly when kerosene or other gas-powered devices are used to heat them. Avoid placing or running gas-powered devices inside or near shanties. Just like our homes, workplaces and schools must also be protected from carbon monoxide hazards. For specific rules and regulations regarding carbon monoxide in your workplace and school, speak with your supervisor and facility safety personnel or the website of your school or school district or business. In 2024, the Michigan Poison and Drug Information Center highlighted the rising danger of carbon monoxide exposure in local hookah lounges. With the growing popularity of hookah across the state, there has been a rise in incidents involving symptomatic carbon monoxide poisoning associated with use. This increase can be attributed to multiple sources of carbon monoxide in these establishments, from the burning of tobacco and charcoal by many patrons simultaneously. Patrons should be aware that poor ventilation and the absence of carbon monoxide detection equipment in these lounges contribute to the heightened risk for carbon monoxide poisoning, as regulations for hookah lounges may vary. On any given day, the desirable reading on carbon monoxide detectors in our homes or any location is 0. However, this does not mean that carbon monoxide is absent from the air we breathe. Underwriters Laboratory, or UL, sets the standards for carbon monoxide detector alarm activation in the United States. Generally, alarms remain silent at environmental carbon monoxide levels below 30 parts per million, or ppm. However, some individuals may feel the effects of ambient carbon monoxide, particularly those with underlying health issues such as respiratory or heart conditions. For anyone suspected of experiencing symptoms from carbon monoxide exposure, always seek medical attention in a hospital emergency room. Carbon monoxide detectors should be installed on every level of your home. For optimal effectiveness, install working carbon monoxide detectors at least 15 feet away from fuel-burning appliances and areas with high humidity. Additionally, ensure that carbon monoxide detectors are installed outside of sleeping areas. In larger homes, it may be necessary to install multiple carbon monoxide detectors on each floor. For detectors powered by alkaline batteries, replace the batteries during the spring and fall, or whenever the low battery alarm sounds. Remember to replace carbon monoxide detectors every 10 years and upgrade to devices powered by lithium-ion batteries. Carbon monoxide alarms that flash or emit sounds should never be overlooked. Act swiftly. If a carbon monoxide alarm activates, it indicates that carbon monoxide levels are likely at hazardous levels. Open windows and doors and evacuate the home or building, ensuring that pets are included in this evacuation. If anyone exhibits symptoms associated with carbon monoxide exposure, call 911 immediately. No one should re-enter the home or building unless it has been declared safe by emergency response services or the power utility company. Carbon monoxide leaks in homes and other structures should be inspected by heating experts. These professionals will evaluate furnaces and other appliances to determine if repairs can fix the carbon monoxide leaks or if a replacement is needed to prevent further exposure to carbon monoxide in the building or home. Throughout Michigan, assistance programs aimed at offsetting the cost of repairs or replacements are available from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and various household energy providers. Look for more resources at the end of this presentation. Carbon monoxide exposure can be prevented. Numerous resources are available to help prevent carbon monoxide exposure in our state. Reach out to your local fire department for information on affordable complementary carbon monoxide detectors. MI Prevention collaborates with fire departments statewide and can install free carbon monoxide alarms for qualifying requests. For further information and links to additional programs, visit the carbon monoxide page on the MDHHS website. We work alongside MDHHS and other agencies to spread awareness about carbon monoxide and exposure prevention. The National Carbon Monoxide Awareness Association offers a wealth of information and resources that are available both nationally and in our state. In Michigan, qualifying applicants can receive help for the repair or replacement of heating equipment and appliances through programs such as MI Bridges, the Weatherization Assistance Program, and the DTE Limited Income Assistance Program. Be sure to check with your local utility provider for additional programs that may be available. And look for more resources on the MIPDC Seasonal and Holiday Safety page. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about the risks of carbon monoxide exposure and how to keep your household members safe. For more questions about carbon monoxide, call the Michigan Poison and Drug Information Center at 1-800-222-1222 and dial extension 1 to speak with a specialist in poison information. To provide feedback on this presentation, please scan the QR code. Visit mipoisonhelp.org for links to our social media platforms, and follow us to stay up to date on important poison-related news and information.